Hello there, teacher friends. I'm Rachel Hull from Teaching Firsties. I am a first grade teacher with 22 years of experience in early elementary education. My specialty is setting up reading centers in the classroom, and now I help teachers like you get your activities for your literacy centers ready to go. We're going to talk about fun activities for your reading centers today, but make sure to click on the subscribe button so you're going to have easy access to the rest of my Literacy Station videos. Your activities for reading groups is the next step when you're setting up your literacy stations. So remember, you want to keep your students in mind first. Their literacy needs are the stepping stone for your small group instruction. And then once you have a goal for them in mind, then you can set up the reading centers in your classroom and decide which activities you want to use. One of the things you might find useful is my Literacy Stations Planner, which you can download for free at literacystations.com/planner. And I'll also include the link in the descriptions of the comments or the descriptions of this video. Now, the first thing to consider when you're doing your activities is which reading centers do you want to have? And more importantly, what is the goal for each center? I stuck with 5 reading stations. I had comprehension, which was also my classroom library. I had poetry, listening, spelling, and writing. I also dabbled with a fluency center, which was a lot of fun for my kiddos. There's my cat. All right, so my goal for the comprehension center was for them to really foster a love of reading, but also to check their understanding of the spelling skills that we have. You know, for my poetry center, I was looking for more fluent reading, and that's why I also added a fluency center on the years that my kids had a hard time with it. No, it's okay. She's gonna get into something. There she goes. Okay, and so on. So really look at the goals for each of your centers. Now, once you have those centers in place, you start thinking about the type of literacy activities you want to have for each center. Do you want printable worksheets that you can just print and place there every week? Or do you want digital resources that, they can take a device and just do their work at their seats? It also depends on what you're allowed to have. I know that things are hopefully going back to normal a little bit, and, you might want a blend of both traditional resources and your digital activities for your reading groups. So I'm going to link also in the description to another video about blending those traditional and digital activities for your literacy stations, so you can have an idea of the kinds of activities you want to choose. Now, if you're going to do more traditional activities like paper and pencil tasks, you can consider something like this for your reading center in your classroom, like a cut and paste activity. I like to save my cut and paste activities for my literacy stations rather than do them as a whole group. I've just found that it lends for more of that spiral review, and my students can do it mostly independently rather than me using it as a teaching tool. So a lot of the cut and paste activities I have are perfect for centers. Spelling, for example, we've already covered the spelling skill, we've worked with the words, and so a cut and paste worksheet at a spelling center will help them practice what they already know and that I've already taught them. At your comprehension stations, or maybe even a listening center, you could maybe use an interactive notebook. I started dabbling with interactive notebooks for first graders, my last year or two of teaching, and I use them a lot for reading comprehension skills. If you're not familiar with interactive notebooks, they're super fun. They're getting popular now. Some of the more popular ones, you can take them and just glue them. Use a glue stick, not white glue. Learned that the hard way. Glue them into your notebook, and then they'll have flaps that the students can lift and write their responses right on their notebook paper underneath. I don't have any available at this time in my Literacy Station store, but the ones I found on Teachers Pay Teachers have been super helpful. And also sticky notes. My kids know that for Christmas, all I want is sticky notes. I can't get enough of them. So did you know you can print on sticky notes? Let's see if I can. Can you see that? There. Let's see. Sorry, the light is being really there. Okay, you get the idea. You can print on them. And I had so much fun with these once I learned how. I didn't like having a large notebook for my students to do any kind of literacy activities in. I felt it was overwhelming for them. They felt like they had to fill up the whole page. And really, I just wanted to know a really quick, like a snapshot of what they learned. Did they learn the main idea, for example? So I either stick to the interactive notebooks or I use these sticky note templates. This one goes right here. Put that one right back in there. Boop. Okay. So I use these sticky note templates for my reader's response in my centers. And all they would do is they would read it there and write down their response. So these are free too. So I'm giving away lots of things. You can get the Literacy Stations Planner and you can get the sticky notes through the link in the description, or you can go to teachingfirsties.com/sticky/notes. And I would keep either a poster size piece of paper at each of my centers, or sometimes I would take like decorative border, bulletin board border, and make just a small enough area where my kids could just place their sticky notes there when they were finished. And all they'd have to do is write their response on the sticky note and stick it right there. And then I can spot check their work. Or if you're interested in digital resources, so that's a lot of traditional things where they're, pen and paper tasks. So let's talk about digital resources. You can consider adding these kinds of activities to your groups. So I love Storytime Online for my listening centers. I would prefer that over the big clunky big CD tape player that seems to be in everyone's classroom. And because there's so many great read alouds, and I didn't have to collect and spend a lot of money on sets of listening center CDs. And these are read by celebrities too, which are super fun. Some of the kids maybe don't know who everybody is, but I do. So it's kind of like, all right, that's pretty cool. So it's more fun for me, I guess. But when I'm looking for online stories for kids, especially on YouTube, I like to find the videos that have the pages of the books so that my kids can see the pages and read the words while the video is going. In these videos, you can see the readers' faces, but then you can also see the pages of the book. So it's edited very well. Anyone could go on YouTube and read to them. Sometimes there's issues with copyright. You never know if they've checked with copyright or not, but with Storytime Online, they have. And so I do kind of like that it's a little bit above board and it's really professionally done. And then spelling games. So there are so many great online spelling games. I used to use Hang Mouse with Spelling City, but they changed the format of that, and it's very difficult to even find Hang Mouse on there, or let alone be able to play it again. So it was kind of very frustrating because, why fix it, especially during a pandemic? Like, why make it harder? Why fix something that wasn't broken? Hang Mouse was our beloved spelling game. But then I found boom cards. So in the next few weeks, I'm going to do a video series on boom cards. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that. That's going to start in a few weeks, and I'll let you know well ahead of time so you can see that. And it'll also be pre-recorded for you to watch if you get a chance to at a later date. But I love boom cards for spelling digital resources. They're self-checking, so students know if they got the right answer or not. So you don't have to grade them. Best thing ever. You don't have to grade them. It's self-checking. And Boom Learning Cards will send you a report of how they did. It'll show you how long they took. So if they sped through it, it'll show you how many they got right. It'll show you how many times it took to get an answer right. So it's a really valuable tool for any kind of center, because they can do it independently. All you have to do is assign it to them, and they can do it all independently, and then the work is done for you. And then the last one is, and it's really not digital or traditional. It's kind of a mixture of both, especially the ones that I have at literacystations.com, but it's more of an idea. For my poetry center, sometimes it was hard to find poems that I could really use or that were fitting. So I decided I loved teaching nursery rhymes, but you don't have time to teach a nursery rhyme unit anymore. And sometimes the kindergarten teachers at our schools would would teach the nursery rhyme unit, and so then you don't want to teach it again because they've learned it in kindergarten, so you want to just piggyback off of that. So I offered a lot of nursery rhymes for my poetry center, and they loved them. And then it saved some time for me. I didn't have to try to find time to teach nursery rhymes as a whole group anymore. So it's nice to add them to your reading centers. I have 25 nursery rhymes available for you at literacystations.com, so you can check those out next. So those are available for you if you are interested. I hope that I gave you some fun activities for your reading centers today. The next video that I'm going to do for you is all about classroom management and student behavior during your small group instruction. So please click like so more teachers out there can see these videos too. So I will see you next time.